In this lesson we're going to look at some more complicated trigonometry questions where you have to do two calculations instead of one. They're usually 5-mark questions and they're worth really concentrating on, having a look at how the technique is used. You don't want to lose 5 marks in an exam because you can't do this type of question. Now they usually look like these two triangles here. Sometimes you get a triangle where you're trying to work out the height up and down the middle, and sometimes you get this idea with two triangles stuck next to each other. Again, quite often you're working out the height, sometimes one of the other sides, but generally you don't have enough information to do trigonometry once on these types of questions. Now we're going to concentrate on this first diagram here. So let's look at an example of what a question might be. So here we've got a question, we've got myself here and my daughter here, and we're flying a kite up the top, and really we're asked to find the height of the kite, but this question is broken into two. Sometimes if the exam's been nice, it will give you a lead in. Sometimes it just says work out the height, and that sometimes mixes people up. Okay, so it says part A, the distance from Mr. G to the kite. So from here to the kite, I'm looking for this distance here. Even if you're not asked to do that, you're required to either calculate that length here or this length here before we can then work out the height, which is ultimately what we're trying to do at the end. So we draw the big triangle out, looking at all the way around the outside. Fill in the letters and the angles, and we've got a side at the bottom here. Now before I would continue, because I've got two angles in a triangle, I always work out the third one. It's handy information to have and it allows you more options. So I've got 35 and 30, that comes to 65, and if you subtract from 180, you'll get 115. Now what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get this here, and if I look at that, I can see that I've got an angle opposite it, and I've got an angle opposite a side here too. So I've got pairs here, which takes you to the sine rule. So I've got E over sine E and G over sine G. I'm going to write that out like this. Okay, so if I fill in the information to work out E, I've got E over sine 35, and I've got 50 over sine 115, sorry. And then if I multiply up by this number at the bottom, if I times up with the sine 35, I'm going to get what E is. So if you just type all of that into your calculator, 50 divided by sine 115, make sure you close the brackets at the end of the 115, then type sine 35 multiplication. You should come out with an answer of 31.64. So I've worked out this side here to be 31.64, and I can now use that to work out the height of the kite, the height straight up and down the middle of the triangle. So I draw a wee right angle triangle now to work out the height. I've got 30 at the bottom here, just from there, just from that bit there. I've got a 90-degree angle here, and I've got my new length I just worked out of 31.64. So I put all that information on, and again work out the third angle in the triangle. We've got 90, we've got 30, that must be 60 up the top there. So I'll just write in 60 up here. Okay, and my job is to work out the height, which is this bit here. So again, I'm looking to see if I can do the sine rule or the cosine rule. I've got F opposite F, and I've got D opposite angle D, because I've put the 90 degrees in there. So again, I'm going to use pairs and use the sine rule to do that. So F over sine F is D over sine D. I've got sine 30, so F over sine 30. I know D is 31.64, and it's over sine 90. Again, if I just do the same at the top, multiply by sine 30, I get my answer. So 31.64 divided by sine 90, make sure you close the brackets if your calculator opens them up, and then times by sine 30 to get your final answer of 15.82. So the height of the kite is 15.82. Now an alternative to this is you could actually just do right angle trigonometry here. If you want to have a wee quick look at that, I'll just extend this page down. You could just do sine 30 is opposite over hypotenuse, so h would be the height here over 31.64, and then if you do a multiplication up, you'll get your height. It's entirely up to you. If you're confident with that technique there, then fine. If you're not, just do the sine rule twice. Remember to watch out, sometimes they don't give this lead-in question, they just ask for the height. But you can either work out this side here or the other side there and do the right angle triangle that side.